Hi, I'm Hugh Sullivan, videographer for the Herald and Review, and I've always been amazed by the power of good sound design in films, and after getting into filmmaking myself, I'm constantly surprised at how big a difference audio can play, even in small productions like mine. I follow a lot of filmmaking blogs and websites, and several of them have kind of said the same thing, that an audience, in most cases, will forgive crappy video quality if you've got good sound, as opposed to having 4K video with great cinematography and bad audio quality. And when I was editing my most recent film, The Grifter, I could see exactly what they were talking about. Oh, and just as a side note, we won Best Direction, so that was fun. Typically when I'm working on a rough cut of a film, I'm dealing with on-camera audio. And sometimes I'll run the boom mic through a preamp and into the 5D Mark II, but this time I didn't do that for every shot, especially I had some two-camera shots, so I was using just the raw little microphone that came inside the camera, and then syncing up my audio later. I don't have Pluralize or any of those plugins, or use the updated version of Adobe that will sync all of your audio sources to the file for you. I don't have that yet, so right now I just do it manually. And to save time, I do the rough cut first. That way I know exactly what shots and what takes I'm using. That way I don't need to sync up 100 files. I just need to sync up one of each. So when I'm working on a rough cut, even though the film looks great and the pacing is how I envisioned it, I'm always disappointed because I'm listening to the raw audio. And so the room tone is changing, everything is hissy, and I start to go into a panic thinking, oh my god, I didn't get what I needed. So sometimes I just need to take a step back, breathe, and remember that it's the audio that's taking me away from and distracting me from the flow of the story. And so I'll mute that channel, and then I'll throw on some music and just kind of watch it as a music video, and it's amazing just what a difference that makes. Even when people's lips are moving and you don't get any sound from them, when you're just listening to it with music, it seems to flow a lot better when you don't have that room tone distracting you. By the time I was finished, I was just so amazed at how different the finished product was from that rough cut that I decided it would be fun to render out a version of the final film that I reverted back to original audio. Take a look.
Woo! I am stuffed. I'm gonna need a nap when we get back to the office.
Why do you think I take so many bathroom breaks?
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Here's your checks. Take your time.
Oh, dang it! I left my wallet at the office.
It's cool. I'll cover you.
Are you sure? I hate to impose on you, especially now that I'm your boss.
See how different everything looks and feels when you take away all the sound design and just hear it straight out of the camera? It's an entirely different film.
Flim-flamming is a young man's game, and I think it might be time for me to retire. But not before I find an apprentice, someone who can learn my secrets.
Who, me?
You have the gift, kid. Trust me. I can tell. You could be a world-class grifter.
When do we start?
11 o'clock. Tonight. Here. Get ready, because your life is going to change.
So that's just one of the few things that I've learned making films over the past few years. I used to get really discouraged when I would see somebody's film and think, why doesn't my footage look like that coming out of the camera? There's looks and sounds so great. And it's because I had to realize theirs didn't look like that either. They had to take it off the camera and then do all the color grading and add special effects and, do some work with the audio and fine-tune all the levels and all the equalization and add Foley and sound effects and all this work that goes into crafting the finished product that you and I see. So I'm going to link those two films in the credits, the finished version that we entered into the 21 Film Project, and then the version where I stripped out all of the sound effects and music and ADR and everything and just have all the raw audio that came straight out of the camera. And I think it's really fun to see the difference between the two. And next week I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on all the different problems that I ran into with my audio and then how I kind of resolved those problems. And also I'm going to talk about some resources where you can go to get some great sound effects and music and different resources for your films. And especially the best part is a lot of them are free. So thanks for watching. Subscribe to this channel. Go check out my personal channel where I have a lot of my filmmaking. And as always, check back every week where I talk about my experiences behind the camera.